Okay, for more on this situation now, let's cross live to Israel with former Israeli government spokesperson Eylon Levy. Eylon, great to see you again. Yet another difficult day. So reports that Iran has broken the ceasefire, 2 missiles sent into northern Israel. We've heard in the past hour from Defence Minister Israel Katz. He says the IDF will respond forcefully. Eylon, what are we expecting to see from here?
Indeed, the Iranian regime violated the ceasefire this morning with missile fire at northern Israel just hours after a deadly barrage that killed 4 people in an apartment block in Beersheba. And Israel is now saying it will respond forcefully. And I want to explain why. Because there are going to be people around the world who are going to tell Israel, just turn a blind eye. It was only 1 or 2 ballistic missiles. There's no need to respond to Iran. Just let it go by and this war can disappear. I want to explain why. Israel is not going back to the world that existed on October 6th, before this war started, when the Iranian regime tried one provocation after the next until tensions reached a boiling point. The Iranian regime's strategy is to try to boil Israel like a frog. Do you know what happens to a frog when you put it in boiling water? If you put it in water and then slowly turn up the heat, it doesn't realize that the water is getting hotter and hotter until eventually it dies. That's what the Iranian regime wants to do, to keep pushing boundaries. It'll be 1 missile from here, another missile from there. We've had this before when it was claimed that Hamas didn't really shoot a missile. That was just lightning that set it off accidentally. Until we reach a point where Israel finds itself confronting a massive threat from the Iranian regime. So this is Israel saying we are not going to tolerate any violations of the ceasefire, or else you're just paving the way to the next war. It's important we have a de-escalation. It's important the Israel-Iran war end, but it cannot end with the Iranian regime pushing the boundaries to see how far it can go and how much it can get away with in attacking Israel.
And of course, we should know that Iran has denied sending those 2 missiles into northern Israel. There's no other legitimate explanation for where those missiles came from, however, and presumably Israel has tracked them to Tehran. But Eylon, you know, the question is, why would Iran have done this? Why would it have agreed to a ceasefire with the president and then broken it just a few hours later? You know, you say it's testing the boundaries, but it is already thoroughly crippled. The regime's hanging on by a thread. What possible self-interest is there?
The Iranian regime has comprehensively lost this war with Israel. It's impossible to exaggerate Israel's achievements. In 12 days, the Iranian regime managed to bomb a hospital, a cancer research clinic, a treatment clinic for disabled children, and people's homes. Israel managed to cripple its ballistic missile industry, decapitate its military leadership, and together with the United States, totally destroy its nuclear program. The Iranian regime was not in a position to respond with Israeli jets controlling the skies of Tehran, and it had to agree to a ceasefire. But the Iranian regime has been humiliated, and that means that it is still dangerous. Israel has managed to eliminate the existential threats of a nuclear Iran and Iran with ballistic missiles, and the world should say thank you. But Iran is still dangerous. And, you know, I know your show has really bravely platformed so many Iranian expats who are hoping this would lead to the fall of the regime. And I think the exiled Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi put it so well yesterday, warning that the Iranian regime is going to lash out. It's not going to go without a fight, because it's been humiliated. And as long as Iran is controlled by a fundamentalistic, totalitarian, despotic regime whose policy is death to Israel and death to the United States, it will continue to try to establish chaos, to try to gain control of the Middle East, and no one will be truly safe. So the Iranian regime, not an existential threat anymore, but still a ticking time bomb.
Just finally, quickly, Eylon, you're very prominent on X and on social media.
I try.
There's a lot of claims that Israel hasn't done the job, America hasn't done the job in completely destroying the nuclear sites. This speculation is rife. What would you say to that?
Look, Israel and the United States are going to be performing the final analysis of the damage from those devastating airstrikes. But right now, it looks like Natanz and Isfahan were completely destroyed, and Fordow has either been completely destroyed or massively degraded, with Israel bombing the access route. The current estimation, according to US intelligence, is that Iran's 400 kilos of highly enriched uranium are buried underneath the mountain and are completely inaccessible. So we're waiting for the final assessment, but the Iranian nuclear program has either been set back by years or completely destroyed. And it looks like if Iran wants a nuclear program, it's going to have to build one from scratch.